Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Kelly Pally, and today we're taking a look at another dumb ways to die list. This time taking on Mario and all of the series' glorious game editions. Now there's a whole lot of ways to die in the Mario franchise, so today we're focusing primarily on the platform Super Mario Bros. Games and Super Mario 64, but there's a few other ones here and there. So if you guys want us to expand on other games in the franchise, give us a shout in those comments below and we'll definitely think about making a part 2. But for now, let's jump right into our list. And at number 10 is Finger Slip, Lava Dip. Starting off our list is a classic way to die in the Mario franchise. Obviously, you don't want to go into that lava. Lava equals fiery, painful death. It's a hard no. But sometimes when your finger slips, or if you don't land that jump correctly, tragedy is abound, and you're done for, with no one to blame but your own hands. Self-deprecate away. And at number 9 is your battery dies. So this one is quite specific to a few games in the franchise, including any of the Game Boy Mario titles and the ISO Super Mario Run. Despite that one being rather questionable, it's still a way to play on the go, at least until Odyssey comes out in October for the Switch. Anyway, one of the woes of modern technology is that batteries die. It's inevitable. It just so happens to hit you when you're killing it at your favorite Mario game. The power cuts out and, well, not only is it dumb, it's also kind of frustrating. Really, batteries dying are a plague on the millennial generation. Sadness. And at number 8 is drowning. What kind of dumb ways to die list would this be without including drowning? As with many other games out there, it's real damn easy to die via submerged in water without any oxygen. I mean, at least gotta give all these drowning deaths kudos for art imitating life. So here we've got a few clips from Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Get all that drowning. That being said, I think drowning in video games has an across-the-board consensus of being frustrating, especially when you're dead set on completing that level. And at number 7 is eaten by a CHEEP. So there's a few ways to encounter death by aquatic life forms. I mean, there's Big Bertha in Super Mario 3, who will passively eat you sometimes if you're not in frog form. Then there's Boss Bass. Then there's just death by CHEEP in general. At least it's possibly a more dignified watery death than drowning. And at number 6 is Mad Piano. Well, if you were ever traumatized by not being musically inclined and forced to take piano lessons as a child, maybe skip this number. Yes, I know that was rather specific. Oh, so necessary though. So the Mad Piano appears in Big Boo's Haunt and is impossible to defeat, which is why it doesn't get a higher number on this list. You can't kill it even if you try. Which, I mean, does make it kinda dumb if you're unsuccessful in avoiding it. It first looks like a regular piano and then bam! Terrifying, teeth and everything. It is guarding a red coin though, so hey, maybe worth taking on the dreadful teeth. Up next, number 5 is floating into an enemy. So the power balloon power-up can be incredibly useful, but it can also act as a cautionary tale if you're not careful when avoiding enemies. Let's take a look at some examples.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here.
And at number 4 is quicksand. Nobody likes quicksand, especially when it means instant death, which I guess is kind of ironic because death by quicksand in reality is slow and painful. So at least we're saved the suffering. Silver lining? But one slip of the finger and you can end up being consumed in that brief tan purgatory. Not very fun. And at number 3 is Mr. Eye. Mr. Eye is, well, a giant eyeball. Pretty self-explanatory. Which is why when you're killed by him, or her, or it, well, it's embarrassing, needless to say. Death by eyeball, never something you really want to brag about. First appearing in Super Mario 64, it would shoot little bubbles at you from its pupil. The worst part is, it's not all that mobile, and it's pretty predictable when it is mobile, so failing to avoid death by Mr. Eye is kinda sad in its own respect. And number 2 is pushed off a ledge. So falling off a ledge by your own accord is one thing. Being pushed by an enemy or by a platform, well, that's just flat out cruel and dumb. Very, very dumb. It almost feels as if the landscape is out to get you. Nowhere is safe. And if you're not quick enough to react, well, tough luck. And finally, and at number 1 is walking into a KOOPA shell. Essentially, casually walking into anything aside from a ledge will likely kill you. The number of times I've accidentally ran or walked into an enemy, well, it's been traumatic. And what a way to be a buzzkill. But with KOOPA shells, it's extra painful, because if your timing is right, you can easily avoid being hit by one. So just strolling into one? Well, I'd say shame on you, but hey, we've all been there, haven't we? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just bad at this game. There we have it, friends. Classic Mario death troubles. What's your least favorite way to die in a Mario game? Give us a shout in those comments below. And as always, if you dug this list and you want to watch more, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And then come on over to our channel page and check out our other vids. But for now, I've been Kelly Pally for Top 10 Gaming, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.